everybody. Happy Thursday. Yes, that's right. Today is Thursday. It's so nice to see everybody. It's a special Thursday stream, and I'm going to try and do one tomorrow as well. Some people joined. Hi, Benji. Welcome to the party. Hey, entertainment nerd. Welcome to the party. We have some really good stories to go over today. Hey, welcome back, Gordon. Welcome back. Hey, Ryan. So we have some really good stories to go over today. And then, of course, as always, for the final 10 minutes of the stream, you may ask me anything that you would like. I don't necessarily have to answer you, but you can try. All right, so let's have some fun. I think these are some pretty interesting stories. Hey, Pastor Madeline, hello to your husband. If you don't know, Pastor Madeline's husband is from the UK. He's a real swell guy. So nice to see so many of you. Thank you to everybody who's a member. And if you can't be a member, no worries. I occasionally do subscriber streams where subscribers can comment. And, it's just nice to have you here. And, of course, you can join when you're able to. All right, so let's get started. All right, so hold on. I have graphics. I have graphics today. I'm excited about it. I'm excited. All right, so story number 1. Hold on. Boop. Okay, so hey Nate, welcome Nate. So hey Kevin Feige. Hey Kevin Feige with the Kevin robot as the avatar. That's great. Oh look, Michael gifted 5 memberships. That's so sweet of you. So click that you'll accept a gift and you can get the membership. That's how it works. That's very kind of you, Michael. Okay, so just as Black Adam is about to hit theaters, Black Panther 2 comes on tracking. And it comes in with almost triple what Black Adam is expected to open with. Black Adam, as you know, has been downgraded to a $60 million debut, which would be, on par with Hobbs and Shaw. But Wakanda Forever is looking to open 175, as you can see. Now, let's put some perspective on that, right? So, the first Black Panther movie opened to 200. Hey, Franco, welcome back. If you joined during a live stream, I give you a shout out right away. So anyway, the first Black Panther movie, which opened in February for President's Day weekend, the 3-day debut was 202, and the 4-day weekend was 242. That's obviously huge. However, I have to let you know that for November, 175 would be a new record. The previous record holder, as of right now, is Hunger Games 2: Catching Fire, which opened with 158 in November. So that's the number to beat, and it looks like Wakanda Forever will easily top that. So that's good. It's got that going for it. Hey, Chris, welcome back, Kirby. So yes, it is a little bit lower than the first movie. That's a good question, Mika. I think to some degree, I think that, it's still a little bit of the pandemic situation. I think that the movie has a strikingly different feel without Chadwick Boseman. It's interesting. I told you my father's very excited about this movie, and he actually agrees with those of you who feel the role should be recast because he likes Black Panther, the character, so much. The cast and crew feel very passionately about the decision that they made, and we'll see if it was the right one. I definitely think that at the time I think that, look, 80s Model also gifted some memberships. Isn't that nice? I really appreciate that. But I think that, at the time it seemed ridiculous to recast. It seemed insulting. But I have to say, a couple years later, it feels like maybe they should have recast, especially when they're recasting General Ross, which I think is a real slap in the face to the T'Challa character and the T'Challa fan base. So yeah, I find myself joining the recast T'Challa movement. I think that, a variant would have been maybe a good way to go. But, and also Shuri, of course, did don the suit in the comics, but you have a very female-centric movie instead. I still feel they aren't playing up Namor enough in the ads. But I hope that it does. I hope that it does really well. I'm very excited about this movie. I'm extremely excited about this movie. In fact, I'm a little upset that some of the cool stuff looks like it's being spoiled on Twitter. I want to go back to a day where you could be surprised in the theater. And so I'm not going to I don't want to ruin anything that is supposed to be revealed in the theater. I think that's really uncool. I mean, unless it's like the worst kept secret ever, like what's going on with Black Adam, where the main person in the movie who makes the movie and stars in the movie is going around promoting it. But I think for the most part, I think that it's getting a little out of control. It's tough. We're in a really tough space. But yeah, so I hope that it's good. I think it's going to be really great. I think the trailers give me goosebumps, and I'm extremely excited about the movie. The highest opening of the pandemic is No Way Home with 260. It's not going to do 260. Even the first one didn't do 260. I think what's most important is that it gets to $1 billion. I think that's going to be crucial. I think that if Black Panther 2 doesn't get to as Jay Got Milk just said, I also trust Ryan Coogler. I really like Ryan Coogler. I think he really knows what he's doing. And so I really hope that this does well. The only concern that I have is that, it is very female-centric, which doesn't bother me. And also, I have to tell you, it's coming right on the heels of The Woman King, which is very, very similar. And The Woman King is like one of the best movies I've ever seen. It's incredible. And that's, based a little bit, that has a little bit, I haven't seen Wakanda Forever, but The Woman King is tough to beat. It's really tough to beat. But I'm very excited to see how this works out. Now let's look at the top opening weekends. Hold on. There they are. Look at that. There it is. Let me go to this little thing so you can see it. That's the top opening weekends for the year to date. I don't think this graphic's very well made, but I grabbed it from Box Office Mojo, and I think that it's not well made, but it's the best we have for now. All right, so as you can see, Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness is the top opener of the year with 187. And it looks like Black Panther 2 is going to come in just a little under that. It doesn't have Wanda in it. If Wanda walked through the movie, it would do it. And also, of course, I think Doctor Strange 2 was benefiting from coming after No Way Home. And everybody felt that it was going to be Marvel's No Way Home. Clearly it wasn't. That's going to be Secret Wars. Then, Jurassic World Dominion, that's obviously still a very popular franchise. That's the second biggest debut. Thor: Love and Thunder, right behind it. The Batman, yay, Batman, DC, get in there. Top Gun Maverick, but, that ended up being the biggest movie of the year. But it started out a little bit from behind. And then you have, I know Juice says, how damaging for Marvel would this be if it flopped with fans? I don't think it's going to flop. I'd be shocked. I don't think that's going to happen. I give that, Ryan Coogler is too good. I just have too much faith in Ryan Coogler. He's extremely professional. Chad, I hope you have a good flight. Minions is the last movie to open at 100. So far this year, you've only got 6 movies that open north of 100 million. That's rough. That's brutal. And there aren't a lot of big movies coming out for the rest of the year. Black Adam's not going to top 100 million. So you really only got Black Panther 2 and Avatar 2. Chico, I don't think I'm frozen for anybody else. I can see myself on the stream. I don't think I'm frozen for anyone else. That's interesting. But then you can see, to be in the top 10 openers of the year, 44 million will do it. Although Uncharted's going to get kicked out of this for Black Adam. Black Adam will have one of the top 10 openings of the year because, it's such an uncompetitive list. But anyway, a lot of the top movies are comic book movies. And you can see that's why comic book movies are still so coveted. Lloyd, Strange World, maybe. I got my invite for that. I'm excited to see it soon. Hey, Raymond Garcia. So I hope that it's good. But I feel that it's going to be a little Atlantis, a little Treasure Planet. Gudo says, do you think Letitia Wright could hurt the movie? They're not using her to advertise it, which I think is fascinating, actually, when you think about it. There's a big cover story on Lupita, but not Letitia, which is weird. That's pretty weird. I think that, I think they're worried maybe that Letitia Wright might say something that would hurt the movie. And it's just a shame because Letitia Wright, I think, is so talented and so charismatic. That's why you need your publicists to watch you. we'll see how the movie does. I mean, I'm excited to see it. As I said today, the Quantum Mania trailer should drop with that. You know, if Quantum Mania is going to play in front of Black Panther, that means it'll drop like the week of release, you know, or just, you know, a couple of days beforehand. And then also I heard a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special trailer should be dropping soon too. Although I got to tell you, Werewolf by Night came and went. Came and went, baby. That's why you need Easter eggs to make these things a little bit bigger. Who has their Black Panther tickets? I have my Black Panther 2 tickets for theaters. I'm very excited about it. I hope it does really well. I hope it's great. Not only does Marvel need the hit, but I think the movie business needs the hit. The movie business needs a home run. Evan, yes, my pleasure. I love Pittsburgh. I was in Pittsburgh over the weekend. Trisha, you have 4 days worth of tickets. I love it. Oh, Josh, sorry about that, but you will be part of the party as a movie theater employee. TJ Williams, your friends are going to make sure you don't have good seats. Oh, Perry's waiting on the reviews. The review embargo for Black Panther is November 8th. November 8th is the review embargo for Black Panther, and the review embargo for Strange New World is November 21st. So those are the review embargoes. The social media embargo, there's no social media embargo for Black Panther 2, and the social media embargo for Strange New World is the 15th, I think. Yeah, the 15th. Pretty exciting. All right, so I'm excited for this film. I think that it should do well. I think it has a slight lower box office opening, which I'm sure people will make a big deal about. I would love for it to overperform, but it's still going to break records for November, and that's pretty important. Carter, that's funny. Good luck in class, which should be fine. All right, so Shawnee says, Grace, after seeing Black Adam, do you think the DCEU should move to a fresh start with the Batman? Yep, I think a big cloud that, welcome back, Nikon. I think that a big cloud that hangs over Black Adam is, can we just move on from this already? Mika, I don't think you have to be too worried about that. Hey, Tony T, thanks for joining. All right, so let's get to the second story of the day. I almost didn't cover this. Hey, Trisha. Grace, what about Black Panther 2 in China? I'm not sure if it has this Chinese release date. Let's see how it did. Hold on. Let's see how the first one did. I'm looking it up. It made $105 million in China. So it still would have made $1 billion even without China, because the original made $1.3 billion. So it'll be fine. I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited about the movie. The movie business needs a big, it's all about streaming shows these days. Movies are really suffering. They need to come through with something big. All right, so, Raymond, I'm so excited that you made the stream. You think I should have a dog as part of the stream? That's funny. Okay, I'm not a big pet person, I gotta tell you. I like other people's pets, but I'm not big on having a pet myself. All right, so second story of the day. Boop! Walter Hamada. Very interesting situation. I almost didn't cover this because I was a little bit torn about how the trades were covering it yesterday. Deadline, here we go. Look at that. Deadline ran a big story about Walter Hamada leaves the Warner Brothers lot. And I thought that was pretty shocking. I think that and they also talk, so this is where I want to start with this story. So Walter Hamada out at Warner Brothers, but we've known this for a long time now when they extended his deal through the release of Black Adam. So we knew that he was going to leave, and it's very rare for the trades to run a last day at the office story. I mean, that is breaking new ground in how executives are treated by the press. So anyway, he left the lot. He packed up his office. He didn't go to the Black Adam premiere even though he shepherded that movie. He didn't even bother to go to the premiere. I think maybe he should have gone to the premiere. I guess he's like, Dwayne Johnson's campaigning for my job, so no thanks. But I don't know. I think there's something to be said for image control. And he really is kind of like, it looks pretty bad for him. Like, for instance, they also reported in the trade that he passed on a Warner Brothers producing deal. Almost everyone who gets fired from a position in the studio takes a producing deal. Everybody does. I think even Toby Emmerich took a producing deal. And someone else who took a producing deal was Amy Pascal. Now, Amy Pascal could not have had a worse situation. Nobody has a worse situation than Amy Pascal. Her emails leaked. She was saying horrible, racist jokes, and she was, saying bad stuff about Angelina Jolie. It was a disaster. And she got fired as the head of Sony Pictures. And she took a producing deal. And she stayed in control of the Spider-Man movies. And I got to tell you, Amy Pascal turned things around. Now she's back on top. She just got a great new deal with Universal. She's doing very well. So, it's bad enough when people are coming for you. You don't need to help them. But Walter Hamada is throwing a little bit of a temper tantrum. So he's like, I don't even want a producing deal. I'm leaving. See you, losers. So he left. And I think covering the last day in the trades is difficult. I mean, I think you should have some. It's difficult because some people are very upset with how Walter Hamada handled himself. But I thought the trades were not very fair or honest in their coverage of exactly what happened. I think that, you got to show the good and the bad. I mean, if Kathleen Kennedy ever leaves Lucasfilm, if anybody ever wants that job, I don't think anybody wants either of these jobs after what happened to Hamada and Toby Emmerich and Kathleen Kennedy. Tyler says, do you think Feige will tap Hamada for producing deal? No. Well, also, nobody produces at Marvel except Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige doesn't hire producers. He produces everything himself, which is very rare, but he doesn't have any producers. So I don't know where Walter Hamada is going to go. He has a lot of friends in the industry, but he's a little toxic with internet people. So it's an interesting situation about the way things went down. So anyway, I mean, if Kathleen Kennedy ever leaves, what's that coverage going to be like? And I worry about it. I saw this is a new reality for executives. Before executives, they hid behind anonymity. Fans were upset about the deals that were being made, but they didn't know who to blame. Now, thanks to people like myself, you do know who's in charge. And I mean, it's changed. So I think there's nothing. Hey, Adam Silver, I think there's nothing wrong with accountability, but I think that it's become very aggressive. Like you don't have, Sion, I haven't heard anything about ScarJo producing Thunderbolts. Since that was a super chat, I answered it, but please try to keep your questions and comments to the story at hand. But you don't even see stories this aggressive about most actors, I mean, and here's the thing, you see very aggressive, this is kind of the level of Amber Heard and Olivia Wilde. And is Walter Hamada at the same level? That's an interesting question. I think some people feel that he is. I don't know if I would put him in the same camp as those individuals because there's no personal aspect to this. Walter Hamada, for the most part, I think did a pretty good job. I think he had a tough time. That's right, 80s model. It's tumultuous over there at Warner Brothers. So let me go through this. I guess part of the reason to cover Walter Hamada's leaving is that now it's to highlight the fact that their DC has no leadership, even, in name only. Because, Walter Hamada wasn't running anything. Dwayne Johnson just went and told the world that he went over Walter Hamada's head to get somebody into the cameo for Black Adam. I mean, that's embarrassing too. I mean, that's really embarrassing. I mean, Dwayne Johnson's going around telling everybody, he's like, yeah, I bitch slapped Walter Hamada. And I got what the fans wanted. I mean, talk about a cherry on the bitter sundae for Walter Hamada leaving DC. But I think that, they keep talking about, they're going to hire somebody who's going to take over for Walter Hamada. I suspect nobody. I don't think anybody's going to take over for Walter Hamada. I think Mike DeLuca is just going to handle it. And Mike DeLuca, I think, would like to get the glory. If it goes well, he'll be like, woo, it was all me. And if it doesn't go well, he'll be like, well, what do you want from me? I was running all of Warner Brothers. I didn't have, I had one hand tied behind my back. So let's do a requiem for Walter Hamada. And let's be honest, because I thought the trades didn't give him his due, both in terms of what he's accomplished and the mistake that he made that ruined his career. It really did. It ruined his career. It ruined his reputation. All right, so Walter Hamada has been at Warner Brothers since 2007. That's how long he's been there. That's how much he ruined his career. So he's a company guy, very well liked by the executives over there. Very well liked, very popular, a real studio guy, a company man. So he also did an extremely good job running the horror division. He's the one who helped James Wan become a huge star. He brought James Wan over to DC. I think James Wan also suggested Walter Hamada. I think there was a lot of, camaraderie there. And so, Walter Hamada did a very good job with Warner Brothers horror. Yeah, that's right, Anthony. DC, it's like, it's a little bit of a jinx. It's like the Game of Thrones cast. I mean, I think it's scary stuff at this point. So he was doing really well. And after the Justice League debacle and they got rid of Geoff Johns, they said, well, how about Walter Hamada? And Walter Hamada, unfortunately, I'm sure he rused the day, said, okay, I'd love to leave my successful job running the horror division of Warner Brothers and take over DC. So what happened was, he oversaw Joker, he oversaw the Batman, and nobody gives him any credit for that. I mean, I think that that's impressive. And also, The Flash is testing incredibly well. And that was supposed to be Walter Hamada's, that was supposed to be the movie that really defined Walter Hamada, finally, that he wasn't inheriting from somebody else. And Walter Hamada brought Andy Muschietti over from the It movies that Walter Hamada shepherded. And The Flash is holding this whole DC thing together because it's testing so well. It's testing in the 80s, which is almost unheard of. And that's all Walter Hamada. Now, so he did really good stuff, but then he made a fateful error. He made a really big error. He called up Ray Fisher, and he asked Ray Fisher to lay off of Geoff Johns. This was, it's rare that you can pinpoint the mistake that someone made that ruined their life. And that's it. That's it. That's the call. Now, I think that what happened is that, I can't believe he went to bat for Geoff Johns, who's destroyed so many careers. But Walter Hamada didn't know that. Geoff Johns, who is a really malicious individual, has fooled a lot of people over at Warner Brothers, to be fair. But Walter Hamada is the only one who called, Walter Hamada is the only one who called on his behalf. So Walter Hamada called up Ray Fisher and he said, I would like you to kind of back off Geoff Johns, and can you just place all this blame on Joss Whedon? Now, knowing what we know that Geoff Johns did to Ray Fisher, obviously he's not going to let that go. It was pretty horrible. But I wish that Ray Fisher had explained to Walter Hamada what Geoff Johns did, and that I wish that Walter Hamada had been like, I did not hear that. Let's put a pin in this and let me look into it on my end. But I think that Walter Hamada, we're in a transition period, in life, in the way things are handled. And I think that Walter Hamada, unfortunately, was very old school. And he just didn't transition quickly enough to the new way of thinking and how to handle oneself. And he really paid the price. I think that that's what happened. And I think that he never, in the past, a conversation like that never would have gotten out. It never would have seen the light of day. But, Ray Fisher, they say somebody who has nothing to lose is a very dangerous person. And they put Ray Fisher in that position where Ray Fisher was like, I got nothing to lose. And he just couldn't take it anymore. And it's unfortunate that Walter Hamada, I guess that's another mistake that he made, that Walter Hamada and his team didn't recognize that. That they weren't like, what else is he going to do? We cornered him. It was very bad. And I think they doubled down on it. Now you would think that wouldn't it be great if Walter Hamada would just come forward and say, that was the worst mistake I ever made. I never should have made that call. And I regret that I did not give Ray Fisher a fair shake. That would solve so many problems. But here's the reason that he'll never do it. He'd probably get sued. He'd probably get Warner Brothers sued because Ray Fisher would then have a case. So that, if you're ever wondering why Warner Brothers will never admit it and won't apologize to Ray Fisher, I suspect that that's the reason, because they would have a lawsuit. So they'll never admit it. They'll never admit it, and they're going to forever be like, hey, we had an investigation and the investigation said we were fine and they cleared us. So it's a stalemate. And it really took down everybody. It just, and everybody ran away. They were like, oh my goodness, run for your life. So I don't know if anyone would ever hire Walter Hamada, because any studio that took over with Walter Hamada, and it's a real shame, because when we all saw Justice League, the Zack Snyder cut, Ray Fisher was incredible in that movie. It's shocking to me that anybody would watch the dailies and be like, yeah, we should cut that out of there. I'm like, it's amazing. I mean, how could you cut that stuff? It made me cry. It was so good. The stuff with Cyborg and his father, that was incredible. So I think another studio would be reluctant to hire Walter Hamada, because this drama is going to follow him. Same with anybody who was at Warner Brothers. Same with Toby Emmerich. And I think that I don't know if there's really anything that these individuals can do to recover, but I hope this is a lesson that other executives pay attention to. Because, yeah, Ray was the best part. And interestingly, Ezra Miller. And then Ezra Miller ruined his own career. It's crazy. It's crazy what's going on over there. It's just a total mess. That's why another reason I think they should just start from scratch, from the Batman. It's just nuts. But yeah, I think other executives should pay attention to this, and they have to be really careful as to how they interact with fans. And you shouldn't be dismissive of fans. You should take fans seriously. I think also what's interesting is that executives in high-level positions have to consider themselves celebrities now. And that's going to be something they have to take into account when they take on these big jobs. You're not going to be able to hide behind anonymity anymore. You're going to have to take responsibility for your decisions. You're going to have potentially your arguments with talent be public. And I think that's why you're going to have a harder time, finding anybody to take on the jobs, especially at Star Wars and especially at DC. No one's ever come out against Feige, although Jessica Gao boy, the story Jessica Gao told about Feige, I got to tell you, Feige is quiet, but I think Feige is like a really tough guy, which I think is awesome. And I think that's one of the reasons that he does so well. I think Feige is extremely aggressive. She told a story where she said, if you don't let me put a hat on my Kevin robot, I'm going to quit. And Kevin Feige, actually, according to the story, took a beat and said, all right, Jessica, thanks for all that you've done for us. We really enjoyed working with you. I love it. Speak softly and carry a big stick. That's Kevin Feige. And they worked out a compromise, But I thought that was very funny. I was like a boss. Exactly, Anthony. Like a boss. I love it. Kevin Feige has saved a lot of people's jobs, but I also think Kevin Feige has absolutely no problem firing somebody, which is why I think everybody's so scared of him. And also being part of Marvel, I think, that's true, Mika. He couldn't control Taika Waititi, but who knows what was said behind the scenes. We'll see what happens. But Kevin Feige also has the benefit of being a kingmaker. If Kevin Feige, look at what Marvel can do for somebody's career. I think that's another thing that benefits Kevin Feige. It can really help a career. But being part of DC and Star Wars, Star Wars isn't so bad. But being part of DC seems to be a little bit of a curse for everybody. All right, so that's the second story of the day, and it's really crazy. I think Walter Hamada, I guess the best way I would describe it, and I think nobody should ever bother his family. The fact that anyone would attack Walter Hamada's family. I heard stories about Walter Hamada's children being targeted on social media. I thought that was appalling. So I felt pretty bad when people, that's someone's dad, that's someone's husband. I think let's try and keep it not personal. I think that, I think you can say anything you want about somebody in a professional manner, and in that light. But I think that I saw people using gifs of slamming a door in his face and stuff like that, and I was like, that's a little bit too much for someone who was, I think for the most part, doing his job, but just made a really big error. Which is unfortunate. But at the same time, you got to keep it above the belt. Because I think internet hate can be, there's my Nicki Minaj lipstick. It can be really tough. And I think the trades have to be careful not to contribute to that by doing a story like this. That it's his last day. I think there was no reason to run a last day story, except if you were going to do a eulogy, which I just did. And I didn't think that the eulogies were correct. And I think that because nobody called him out on the Ray Fisher situation. Oh, you like my eyeshadow, Charlie? Thank you. That's new. They discontinued my eyeshadow. I used to wear a Laura Mercier Black Plum, and they got rid of it, which I discovered today. I actually was out getting it this morning. And so I got this Chanel, what's it called? I got Chanel Vibrant Violet. I can't wear anything with shimmer in it because of my contact lenses. So yeah. All right, so that little makeup detour. All right, so thank you. That's so nice of you guys. I appreciate it. All right. That's right. I didn't get to, I wish I'd known they were discontinuing the Black Plum, or I would have bought a ton of it. Sean, I'm going to make a Harrison Ford Hulk video tomorrow. I have that planned. I got some tea for you. I'm very excited about it. So I will be sharing that. All right. So second thing of the day. All right. So a third story. Hold on. Here we go. Hold on. Third story of the day. I like this one. Boom, baby. Judi Dench versus The Crown. Oh, wait. Hold on a second. Hold on. I got to turn off the heat. 1 second. Is it coming on? Yes, hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. I thought I turned it off. I don't know why it's making such a loud noise. All right, so anyway. Yeah, it's cold in New York. Hey, Nick. Thank you, Nick. That's very nice of you. All right, so Judi Dench. Judi Dench is fighting with the Crown. And it turns out she's fighting with the Crown because she's friends with Camilla, which I thought was pretty interesting. That's right, the Dame versus the Crown. That's funny. So yes, Judi Dench is fighting with the Crown. So she said, look, I think it's real uncool that they don't run a disclaimer in front of the episodes that this is like not totally factually correct, that they are taking a lot of creative license. And this was brought up during the last season. I think Judi Dench is a real pal to go to the mat for Camilla. But I don't know if I'd want to go to the mat for Camilla, to be honest with you. I'd be like, I just want to stay out of this, man. You know, maybe Camilla should just say it. You know, I don't know. But yeah, apparently the Crown, it comes across as very factual. But apparently it's not very factual, which I think is actually pretty dicey. I would agree with this. I actually know some people I've been talking to, some friends of mine, who are like, I don't know if I'm going to keep watching The Crown because we're talking about people who are actually alive and I don't think it's factually accurate, and so that's kind of uncool to do that to these people. And I would kind of agree with that. So yeah, so Netflix is like, everybody knows it's not real, so we don't need to run a disclaimer. And I'm like, that's not true. Nobody realizes it's not real. I think that what they need to do. Oh, that's very nice of you, Jay. Jay gifted another 5 memberships. That's so kind of you. But anyway, I think that what they really need to do, I think that Netflix doesn't want to run the disclaimer because they're concerned people would stop watching it. How many of you knew that The Crown was not factually correct? Hey, Grazer. Keith knew it. Sado knew it. Danielle is laughing at that. That's funny, Danielle. I thought that it was pretty correct, to be honest with you. I mean, I didn't think it was 100% correct, but apparently it's like pretty not correct, which I think is tough, especially when, again, you're dealing with real people. Especially also now that they're getting to the Diana seasons. And Elizabeth Debicki looks like the ghost of Diana. She looks so much like Diana, it's insane. I bet she wins a ton of awards for that role. But yeah, so it's based on real events. And I think that the royal family is very nervous about this because you know how internet people can get. And I think Camilla does not want everybody to come after her. Philip says the first 3 seasons felt historical. Season 4 was good, but felt somewhat tabloidy because it's getting into modern times. Philip, it's funny you say that because that's exactly what my friend said. And you ain't seen nothing yet with season 5. That's going to be super tabloidy. But so yeah, and also the royal family is at a very precarious point right now because they're transitioning to King Charles. And, King Charles is, was at the center of all this and is not as, it's one thing to say bow down and help pay the bills for your grandma, but it's quite another to say bow down and pay the bills for your uncle, which is kind of where we are with going from, everyone's like, oh, the queen is so cute. She needs some money. She doesn't need any money. They're billionaires. But, somebody, talk about having a bad reaction to things like Walter Hamada. I saw footage of Charles going along the line and greeting the people. And some guy said, why should I help pay for you when I can't even pay my own heating bill? Why should I pay my heating bill? I can't even pay my heating bill, so why am I helping you? And, hey, Philip. And so another Philip, welcome back. Welcome. So anyway, Charles kind of rolled his eyes and walked away. And I'm like, wow, Charles, don't you have any media training? You should definitely not have done that. I think you should have stopped and talked to that guy and said, tell me more. I feel bad. So yeah. I think that I don't know if the monarchy's going to last, to be honest with you. It's unprecedented that your prime minister just resigned today after 6 weeks. That was shocking. And I feel, unfortunately, not a great look for women in power. I felt bad about that. Although, she wasn't very well liked. I didn't know very much about her, but I was surprised that she resigned after just 6 weeks. Michael says lettuce lasted longer. Yeah, so it's pretty crazy over there in the UK, and I believe, she resigned. And I believe that you guys are headed for, or are already in the midst of a horrible recession that apparently is coming here soon. And it's pretty bad. So I think that the UK is in for difficult times, and, the monarchy is supposed to make that better, based on what I learned watching The Crown. The Crown told me about, to me, watching The Crown, I came to feel that the Queen was kind of like Mickey Mouse. Hey, Zany. And that the Queen was supposed to be a constant that made people feel better and have pride in their country. And that she kind of was it was kind of based on The Crown, I felt that politicians come and go and politicians are looking out for themselves and for their party. But the Queen, the royal family, looks out for England because they are forever in the position to do so. But I don't really know if, I feel that way about, I don't know if I feel that way about the royalty, if that's the case anymore. I know that Charles did a lot to preserve the architecture of England, but I don't really know if that's enough. I don't know if people are like, yeah, he saved a lot of buildings. I think the fact that he's a billionaire is really going to hurt him. I honestly don't know if you guys your taxes should be paying for that. But I don't know. Also, does the royal family help your tourism? Does it help, your country in that regard? That's an interesting idea. It's also a very big industry which a lot of people make a living off of, selling memorabilia and stuff like that, and books and newspapers. So a lot of people rely on the royal family for an income. So that's also something that's keeping it alive. But I don't know, as an American, I just can't imagine having a royal family for ourselves. But it's interesting. It's an interesting situation. As Raymond said, they're big for tourism, and as Anthony says, there's pros and cons. Some people have said if the UK gets rid of the royal family, then the UK would just be like any other European country to some degree. And I think that that's a realistic concern. So I don't know. I don't know if I would get rid of the royal family, but I don't really know if you guys should be financially supporting them to the degree that you are. I think certainly, and also I felt very bad that Charles fired his entire staff. I thought that was a bad look too. He's like, hooray, I'm king! You're all fired! I was like, what? Charles, do you stop and think about these things before you do them? You would want your entire staff to be happy that you were made king. Not rue the day. Hey, Tyler, welcome back. So it's a tough situation. But I definitely think people who are hurting financially probably really resent, understandably, paying for the royal family who have $1 billion. I think Charles is worth $1 billion in his portfolio. I think the Queen is too, right? That's nuts. That's insane! I think Prince William's okay. Who do you guys like? I think Charles's reign will be short-lived. Hey, Sion. And I don't know. The fact that William cheated on his wife just like his father did is like kind of like tone deaf. Chico, I thought the Crown Season 5 trailer was okay. I like Kate a lot. And I really like their children. I think George, Charlotte, and Louis are cute. Although Louis got disinvited to the funeral because he can't control himself. Also, I saw him put his hand over his mom's mouth, which I was shocked. I'd be like, I would never do that to my mother at any age, even when I was 2. Hey, Michael. He does want to sell Warner Brothers. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, so this is very interesting. I gotta tell you, the royal family sells stuff. People are interested. I guess maybe William's like, I had to cheat. I have to have scandal. I have to have people talking about us. But it's interesting. It's an interesting situation. All right, so those are the 3 stories. I will watch The Crown Season 5. I'm sorry I couldn't react to it, but I had to be out this morning. I mean, this is my last week, hopefully, knock on wood, of dealing with personal stuff. I mean, I'm trying to, it's a little bit hard for me to get back on schedule. I apologize about that, but I am getting in 3 streams this week. But I will review The Crown Season 5, for sure, largely because I want to watch it. I love The Crown. I reviewed The Crown Season 4. So I like The Crown. I think it's a great show. I'm still into it. All right. So those are the 3 stories of the day. Oh, hold on. It is 6:49. You can ask me, let's just make it around 11 minutes. You can ask me anything you'd like until 7 o'clock. Thanks, Bug. Benji said, did you see House of the Dragon Pass? Oh, I did not see that, Benji. We'll cover that. I'll cover that in Movie Math on Sunday, but that's very exciting. Although not for Rings of Power fans. Some people really like Rings of Power. Snivy Link says, Grace, are you able to disclose what the original She-Hulk finale was going to be? They were going to do like the thing with the leader. Like they were going to have the blood being stolen, and they were going to go with that, but they didn't do it. Friendly Persuasion says, where'd that go? 3 actors you love, 3 actors you don't. That's a funny one, Friendly Persuasion. Okay, 3 actors I love. Ooh. Adam Driver. Big Adam Driver fan. Who else do I really like? I like Chris Hemsworth. I think he's good. I like a lot of actors. Who else do I really, really like? It's so hard off the top of my head. There really aren't a lot of movie stars these days, right? Colin Farrell. There's talk that he might win Best Actor for Banshees of Inisherin or whatever. And people are like, he's so good in the movie. He's long overdue. Maybe he'll win over Brendan Fraser. I saw somebody tweet that today. And I was like, you know what? I would love Colin Farrell to win an Oscar. He's worked so hard. What a great guy. I would love that. So Colin Farrell. 3 actors I don't like. Who do I not like? Oh, hold on. Let me Google. Top actors today. I kind of like everyone. I don't think there's anyone I dislike. Yeah, I don't think I dislike any actors that I can think of off the top of my head. Sorry, but I liked your question. Your question was great. What did I do today, Charlie? I looked for this makeup, and I had some personal errands that I had to run. They're personal. I'm sorry, I can't disclose them. But I will tell you that I went to Bloomingdale's, Bergdorf, which stopped carrying Laura Mercier, which I was upset about, and then I walked down to Saks, and they had the shit. And Laura Mercier was like, we don't have it either, so I went to Chanel. I see I have some things come in. Ryan says, top 3 favorite Halloween movies. Ooh, I guess The Shining. Elliot, I was the one who hinted that Adam Driver was rumored. See, I told you, the Scoop game is a crazy game. And I want to thank those of you today who remembered that I said a long time ago that I hinted very, very clearly that Adam Driver is on the short list for Fantastic Four. But yeah, I think he would be a killer read, but he's not the only one. There are a couple other names on the list. Let's see here. Top 3 favorite. So I like, The Shining, basically. I like Ichabod. I like the Headless Horseman, Ichabod Crane from Disney. Not a lot of great Halloween movies, to be honest with you. Jennifer says, is there any chance Warner Brothers actually replaces Ezra Miller with George McKay? Is there a real... Yes, that's what I reported today. Thanks for asking, Jennifer. I really like your avatar. Yes, that's who they want. If The Flash does well and they make another Flash movie, they want to put George McKay in the suit. And based on the reaction today, that's a good idea. Juan says, do you think the issue about Halle could hurt The Little Mermaid? I have not heard about any issues with Halle Bailey, so I cannot comment on that. Let's see. I think, what is there? No, Andrea, I love Don Cheadle. Let's see here. Michael Parton says Glenn Powell is rumored to play Green Lantern. But where? I don't know about any Green Lantern projects that are moving forward. Green Lantern's Light, interestingly enough, says, which DC characters do you think could come to the big screen and join the $1 billion club once Warner Brothers is sold? I really think they should make a Gotham City Sirens movie. I think it's nuts that Margot Robbie... Talk about a moment in your career when you made a mistake. The moment when Margot Robbie was presented with, do you want to do Birds of Prey? Which I don't even know why that was offered to her as a choice. Or do you want to do Gotham City Sirens? And she said, Birds of Prey. That was a huge mistake. Huge mistake. So I think Gotham City Sirens could have been huge. And I'm sad they didn't do it. Oh, let's see here. What else? Oh, look at these comments that just came in. There we go. Hold on. Let me make sure I get to them. Sean says, what did Ryan Reynolds do right in Deadpool that Dwayne Johnson should have incorporated in his Black Adam project? Ryan Reynolds was faithful to the comics. I think that's pretty much, Dwayne Johnson made a movie to benefit him. And Ryan Reynolds made a movie that was Deadpool, and that then therefore did benefit him. Jack says, will you review Gotham Knights cutscenes? I gotta tell you, Jack, it's not looking good, especially because nobody seems to like it. Dancing Dog 60 says, Grace, will you address the Ross recasting and Marvel's hypocrisy? Yes, in my video tomorrow about the Harrison Ford casting. Smart Girl says, the Flash testing well, what will DC's future look like? Well, it's one thing to test well. Let's see if anyone's willing to go to the movie to see it. We have to look at the box office. Let's see what happens. I think Black Adam is going to be a really big, important test for what they want to do over there. Because, they talked about it, they've been hyping it up, and they think it's going to be, and everyone's like, oh, if you put Henry Cavill in it, it'll do great business. And let's see. It's not looking like it. And of course, some fans will go, well, it's only 5 seconds. How is it fair to judge that? Well, it's the same fans who said if you put Henry Cavill in it, I'll go see it. So, yeah, they are going to judge it by that. Riverbane says, why are they doing Thunderbolts without Zemo? Well, the theory is, Riverbane, that maybe Zemo will show up, but he's just not advertised in the movie. We'll see. You can't do Thunderbolts without Zemo. I'd be surprised if Kevin Feige made a mistake that big. Thank you, Mando's Ace. That's very nice of you. I appreciate that. Hulkling Loves Wiccan said, what movie reviews are coming up for you? I enjoy all your reviews. Thank you, Hulkling Loves Wiccan. There is a rumor that they're going to be in the Agatha show. I haven't been able to confirm it, but they are casting a gay teenage couple. So I don't see how that can't be Wiccan and Hulkling. It would be so weird if they were like, here is some other gay male teenage couple. And you would be like, what? I don't care about them if they're a Hulk. And, I haven't been able to confirm it, but it would be shocking to me if it wasn't. And it's going to be so great. Let's see here. Juan says, I've read from another scooper that Echo is having creative issues and might get delayed. Did you hear? I have not heard anything about that. But I got to tell you, Echo is like real low budget. But it's got Daredevil in it. And Daredevil gave She-Hulk quite the boost. Gordon Bishop says, how is the Flash testing so well? Do you think the general public doesn't care about Ezra's shenanigans? They might not have heard about it. The movie might just be that good. I think don't underestimate, Michael Keaton being back as Batman. I think that's probably a big part of, that nostalgia play is probably a big part of why people like that movie. Also, the visual effects team on it is very good. So I'm sure it has some very cool action sequences. Philip says, what change do you think Warner should make about Nielsen and House of the Dragon? HBO Max exclusive? I think that they have to combine HBO and HBO Max. I think this splitting the service is just ridiculous. Bug says, just saw Black Adam with low expectations and I had a fun time. What I expected to be was but fun time. Oh, that's great, Bug. I'm really glad you had a good time. Let's see here. Zay says, have you seen the new Little Mermaid poster? The one that came out a few days ago? Yes, I did. I did not. I thought it was a little too low energy and passive, but I'm still very excited for that movie. I can't wait to see how the rest of the cast looks. Alex says, do you miss interviewing people after a movie? That was a lot of fun. I really liked getting to meet people. It was sometimes a little unsafe, so I don't think I would ever go back to that, to be honest with you. And it just, there are many reasons that it's not feasible anymore from a business standpoint. But I really did love, I think the thing I liked most was getting to know you guys, meeting you, having regulars. That was really nice. Harlequin Dove says, do you think Black Panther 2 will be a political movie more or a superhero movie more? I think that it'll be representative. I think it'll be in the vein of the original Black Panther movie. The question is, will it be positive or will it be negative? One of the things, as I said, people liked about Black Panther, the first movie, was that it was a story about the Black community that was overwhelmingly positive and looked towards the future instead of looking towards the past. And so we'll see if it retains that quality. Faisal says, hey Grace, who do you think is the frontrunner for the Best Actress Oscar? Watched Tar a few days ago and loved it. Cate Blanchett is apparently, but she's already won. I think Michelle Yeoh is probably still the frontrunner. I think that Viola Davis for The Woman King will probably be nominated, but I would think Michelle Yeoh right now. Gritter says, are you looking forward to the season finale of House of the Dragon? I sure am! We're doing a watch-along on Sunday night, 9 p.m. Join me right here. We're going to watch it together. Chico says, Grace, are you excited for the Midnight album for Taylor Swift? Although Charlie just said, Chico, stop spamming. That's funny. I am excited, but I didn't like her last album, so my interest is a little muted. I'll check it out. I'm not really a big person into music because I'm more into comics and movies and TV. So I'm not going to, if I'm up at midnight, I might click over and I have Apple Music, so I can listen to it for free. Gritter says, I'm going to see Black Adam tonight at my AMC. Cannot wait to see it. I hope you have a great time, Gritter. Look at you smiling there in your photo. I hope that's you after the movie. Elliot says, hey Grace, what are your top 3 James Stewart films? Ooh, interesting question. I really love Rear Window, as you know. I actually really like It's a Wonderful Life. It's a Wonderful Life annoys me every year, where I'm like, nobody cares about George Bailey. Nobody helps him out. Let him go see the world. Why don't one of you take over for him? But it's an incredible movie, and I love it every year, and I've always kind of been like, don't be taken advantage of, but try and be a George Bailey in life. I think he's a really wonderful person. Hey, Nicholas. Welcome back. So I like that movie. And then he's made so many good movies. I'm just such a big Jimmy Stewart fan. Growing up, he was like one of my biggest one of my biggest favorite actors. He's made a couple of other really good movies. You can't go wrong with the Jimmy Stewart movie. Not his Westerns. Stay away from his Westerns. I guess Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Oh, you know what else I like? Okay, this will be my third. Okay, so it goes, and I watch this every Christmas. So it goes Rear Window. What was the other movie I just said? Rear Window, It's a Wonderful Life. He made a lot of Christmas movies. And The Shop Around the Corner. He's wonderful in that film. I love it. It's such a good movie. All right, Friendly Persuasion says, thoughts on Clark Gable and Humphrey Bogart. I saw your question earlier, but I don't know anything about what happened with Clark Gable. I have not seen this story today. Did I miss somebody's super chat? Demon says, why didn't they replace Hurt with Sam Elliott? He literally started the character because Harrison Ford's a bigger name. Everybody loves Harrison Ford. Mika says, hey Grace, Black Adam was great. Saw it this evening in a theater of fans. I think people will go from action scene to action scene like you always talk about. Let's see if you're right, Mika. I'm glad you had a great time. TJ says, I've been watching all 8 Harry Potter films. R.I.P. Robbie Coltrane. Is it really true that Warner Brothers is secretly planning a comeback movie with the original trio? I haven't heard anything about that. I've long said that that's what they should do. I'd take out my checkbook and say, how much is it going to take to get you guys to come back? I know they want to do a show too. I really hope they get Harry Potter back on track. It's a wonderful franchise. Let's see, what else do we have here? Do I have missed anything else? Okay. Keith says, will you watch Tales of the Jedi? I got my screeners, but I don't know. I got a lot to cover with other stuff. A lot of stuff's dropping. Gary Smith, welcome. Hey, Gary Smith. Francisco says, Grace, what do you think of Jennifer Lawrence? I think it's time for a Jennifer Lawrence comeback. I think Jennifer Lawrence was smart. She said, even I'm sick of me, which I thought was funny. I thought she was very clever. She took a break. She got married. She had a baby. And now she's going to come back, and I think she handled it really well. Cooper says, what's your favorite foreign film? Mine is Come and See. Oh, these are tough. It's hard for me to say off the top of my head. I guess I really like Hard Boiled from John Woo. Thanks. Hey, Art. Thank you. That's very nice of you. I like that movie. I also like Life is Beautiful. I remember crying so hard seeing that movie. Sean says, is Bill Murray getting his Me Too moment? I don't know. He's right on the cusp of it, but it doesn't seem to have any traction for some reason. I'm sure he's really nervous. It's not good. Barbie, I haven't heard anything about Anya Taylor-Joy as Black Cat, but I think she would be phenomenal in the role. Let's see here. Kirby Clay says, what Phase 5 project of Marvel are you the most excited for? Ooh, off the top of my head, let me look up the thing. Hold on, wait a minute. Secret Invasion. Loki Season 2. And I think there's a lot of good stuff. I'm excited about a lot of this. I don't know which one. I think I made a video which I ranked them, but I'm pretty excited. I liked Amelie. I've seen Amelie, Noah. I liked it, but I liked Amelie. I'm not really a zany person, though. I don't know. Maybe I am, but I don't know. I guess Amelie is great, but I wasn't blown away by it. That's very nice of you, CH. And your picture is adorable. Isn't that from Hotel Transylvania? The next watch-along for Movie Club members will be on October 30th, and we're going to be watching Aliens. Gritter Play says, mentioning Hard Boiled gets another super chat from me, Grace. The only action movie I think is more hardcore than the first Die Hard. It's so good. I actually used to have a Hard Boiled t-shirt, which I believe I lost to mold with my mold stuff, but I loved that shirt. Chow Yun Fat holding a baby. It was awesome. Danny, I stopped covering Rings of Power because I stopped watching it. I just could not make myself watch it. Kevin Feige, I have not heard the latest Spider-Man rumors. Wouldn't you know them, Kevin Feige? Overcooked Egg, thanks for joining Movie Club. Lane, I haven't heard anything about Severance Season 2, although I did see Ben Stiller have a mysterious tweet the other day. Dent says, thoughts on Kathleen Kennedy's projected successor, Michelle Redjwan, quitting Lucasfilm. I saw that. I think that they need new leadership over there, for sure. I think, Kathleen Kennedy, it's almost embarrassing when she comes out and introduces the Star Wars sections because you're like, you're not in control of this anymore. Why are you coming out here and standing here and pretending that you are? Benji says, do you have a favorite decade for movies? I think I like old classic movies, the 30s and 40s. No, I don't think there's a favorite decade for movies. I just really like movies. I don't think classic movies get enough attention. Ever since Robert Osborne died, it was such a blow for classic cinema. He was holding that up all by himself. Hey, Cruno. I haven't heard anything about Shrek 5, Isaac, but I did know they wanted to bring Shrek back. Lloyd says, when does the holiday season officially start for you? You mean like Christmas? Well, it's not supposed to start until you see Santa at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, but I kind of cheat a little bit, and as soon as Halloween's over, I kind of feel it's Christmas. Although this year there's 4 weeks between Thanksgiving and Christmas, which I'm pretty happy about. That's going to be really great. Oh boy! I'm a big Christmas fan. Thiago says, hey Grace, what is your favorite film for James Cameron? Easy, T2. Hey, Cruno, I'm so glad I got you into comics. I love comic books. I've been reading some good ones this week. I really liked Fables. I'm so glad Fables is back. Still just as good as always. Haunted Autumn, you're watching Christmas movies now? Wow. Your love is impressive for Christmas. One, I don't think James Cameron, hold on. Did James Cameron direct Aliens? I think he did, actually. I forgot about that. Oh, yeah, it is. No, T2 for sure. I love T2. And Titanic's pretty good. Although the romance was so ridiculous. I was like, you guys are crying, but you never would have made it off the boat. You never would have lasted as a couple. And I do agree that there was room for him on that door. That's a very loud movie, by the way. During the pandemic, I rewatched it again. And I had it on when they were like the ship was sinking. And I watched it very late at night. And I got nervous about my neighbors. I was like, this is loud. This is very loud. Ryan says, curious about your thoughts on the state of the Conjuring universe. None 2 is filming, but I would love if James Wan gave us Conjuring 4. Yeah, I also feel that's, I don't know. Like, just, I don't know. It might have been taking too long. I think they might have had too many of those. Classic horror film recommendations, Dent. The scariest movie I ever saw was J.A. Bayona's The Orphanage. That was a scare. That and probably the original Conjuring. CH, I don't know. I think my parents are having a Hocus Pocus 2 party. So I might join them for that and rewatch Hocus Pocus 2 with them. Benji, I don't think that's the real flounder. It couldn't possibly be because it looks awful. I don't think there's a Disney executive who would be like, all right, we're done. Let's do it. The Exorcist is scary in the beginning, and then I feel not as scary. And then it just becomes very religious. All right, everybody, I better get going. I got to make a Henry Cavill video for some reason, if you haven't seen Black Adam. But anyway, I loved talking to you guys. As always, I'm going to try and do a live stream tomorrow. I'm so glad I was able to do one today. I love talking to you guys. You guys are great. You always lift my spirits. I really like talking to you. So thank you to everybody for joining. Thanks for a great live stream, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right, everybody, bye. Bye, everybody, bye. Bye-bye.